Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and this is a new show for our platform. So thank you for taking the time. It is creating a world of possibilities. And today we have a very special guest who's going to join me. He's actually a team member and a very good friend. He has his own shows here at USA Global TV and Radio, which are the Mallorca Connection, It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, and the Planet Earth Show. So we're going to be bringing out Mr. Roland Friedel, who is an expert in many areas. He refers to himself as a entrepreneur. He's a serial entrepreneur as well, and he's someone who has done a lot of work with men. He really believes that men need to share their voice, and he helps them open up. And he's worked with some of the biggest companies in the world. He's been traveling in his motorhome across Europe, and he takes the time and effort to come and join us here. Welcome, Mr. Roland Friedel. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello to the audience. And by the way, Happy New Year, Dr. Jacalyn.
Happy New Year to you. I know. It's been a while. It's been probably a month or so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. By the way, I love that background. Where in the world is it?
I don't know. It's just a screenshot. but it looks very familiar where I am. That's when I choose the picture. So I'm in south of Italy on the island of Sicily. And behind me, there's also an amazing beach that looks like this one, more or less. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah, I've seen some of your pictures on Facebook, and it looks like it's nice and warm where you are. Where I am, I'm freezing, so I wish I was where you are.
Well, it's funny because 3 days ago, it was 6:30 in the morning when the sunrise was. I get up early in the morning. I was walking my dog on the beach, and I met a girl sitting there, a young girl sitting there freezing, and we had a conversation. Where are you from? She said she's from Arizona. She after college, she just jumped into Italy, and she jumped into the plane in Arizona. It was quite warmer than here because here it's winter too. It's fine, but it's not hot here. Okay, and she was freezing.
You're suntan though.
Yeah, the sun is shining every day. Actually. Yeah,
look how pale I look next to you. You look very tan and healthy. So good for you. So Roland, our topic today is unlocking success strategies to attract high profile clients. You've done extensive work with, as I mentioned in the beginning, some of the biggest companies in the world. And you've also worked individually with clients. Can you give us a little bit of the background about your calling yourself a entrepreneur and how that interfaces or is different with an entrepreneur?
Okay. Yeah, first of all, entrepreneur is an artificial term which was created by my teacher, my guru, Dr. Jeffrey Armstrong. And I asked for permission if I can use this term entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is like an entrepreneur, but it's more giving back to society. I became 60 last September. And for me now, it's time to give back to society, give even more back to society. That's why I call myself a entrepreneur. That's the reason for this term. So what I'm doing is, as you mentioned, I've been working for facilitating trainings, coachings for many big tech players like Xerox for over 20 years. For Diebold Nixdorf, I still do. Actually, I had a call today, so we're going to run a workshop, I guess, in Portugal in March for them. I had a call today also with Sage. Sage is also a big player on software, for accounting software. I run some trainings for their managers starting end of January. And I also do something for, it's actually a Canadian company, for open text. It's big tech companies, software companies. Yeah, that's my background most of the time. So I'm facilitating, delivering with all my experience as an entrepreneur in my past. And besides that, as you mentioned, I just love to work with men, to bring men back in their masculinity. Yeah, so that the women have a real man on their side, because most women are complaining. I don't see a lot of men, but not many balls. So they really want to have a man on their side, with a masculine man. And we don't talk about toxic masculinity. We don't talk about negative stuff. So a real masculine man who can hold space for his wife, for his spouse. So that's one of my main targets. And I'm also very into mentor people who want to have maybe I call it a remote lifestyle like myself. I always love to travel. I'm always on the road, more or less. So the last years I combined work and traveling. Before that, in hotels and in airplanes, and the last years in my RV, in my motorhome. So I mentor people over 6 months to bring their business, their remote business, successful on the market, so they can travel wherever they want and have an independent business. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's incredible. And the fact that you've been working with Xerox for that many years, I mean, that really says something about what they think about you and your ability to deliver. So, as you know, the topic or the name of the show is Creating a World of Possibilities. And we're going to be talking about high profile clients. So people might be wondering, that's kind of interesting, talking about giving back, but at the same time, we're talking about money. So how do we frame up money when we think about creating a world of possibilities, so that it's not an ego-based motive?
Well, first of all, money is energy. It's nothing else than energy. And of course, money is important, because we all have to pay bills. We want to buy nice stuff, of course. But I've never been money driven. What I mean is, I always did stuff that I really love, and I'm passionate about it, serving people, and then the money comes in automatically. That's my approach. So I was never chasing money, because I found out in my early years that's not working when you try to chase money. So it's about bring something on the market that really passionate about it, that brings extra value to people who have a gap or a pain or whatever. And when you add value, people pay for it. And that's what it is. That's all about my money. Money is nothing positive or negative. It's just energy. That's all it is.
It's true. And I know that I've had an issue in the past where feeling like I wasn't worthy of asking for what I want and what I deserve. And I think that also is opening a door for creating possibilities for people to believe their own worth, their own value. Is that something that you work with clients on?
Absolutely. That's mostly the starting point, because it's also according to my own history, to my own story. I always had an issue in the beginning to charge money, or higher amounts of money. And I found out through my coach and my mentor that it's in the past, because my dad always told me that I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. So when you hear it all the time, you believe that you're not good enough, that you're not worth to be loved, to be recognized, to be attracted by people and that pay you. That was an issue for me in the beginning. So that's what I learned from my coach. And the same is with my coachees. And actually, I have a client at the moment I mentor for 6 months. He just signed up a few weeks ago. And his target is, because he's very good what he's doing, and so he approached me and said, "Can you help me to be seen, to come on the market, and especially to sell high price tickets, because he's really good what he's doing it." And we started. And by the way, he had return on investment after 3 weeks of coaching. So my methodology is really working. But I want to say he has the same issue, because he had an issue with money. And the reason for that, we found out in the coaching, is his dad passed away He had an accident. He was working for a minery, and the minery broke down, and a lot of people passed away. It was huge in the newspapers in my home country. And his dad died, his uncle died, and I remember, I guess his cousin died too, so passed away. So he gets a hell of money from a foundation, and he had an issue from that because he believes that somebody else has to suffer or even to die like his dad to get a higher amount of money, because he always said, I would love to have my dad back instead of the money. And so we worked on this belief system and get rid of it, and now it's working. But most people have an issue with money because, like myself, their dad maybe told them that not worth, or the teachers told them, or there's another root cause in the past. Another client of mine, of women, she also had issues with money, and then we found out that her dad passed away also when she was young, and she inherited a hell of money, and she always said, I don't want the money, I want my dad back. So yeah, there are many issues or root causes why people have problems with making good money, or even when they make good money, they lose it again, or somebody steals from them because they believe they're not worth of it, obtaining it. Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge issue.
So that's interesting what you just shared, that someone may be able to address it and overcome it and then slide back into the same way of being. So is it something that you have to proactively work at?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always when clients approach me and say, okay, I want to make more money or charge higher prices for my services, I always ask them, why didn't you in the past? Yeah, and then I go deeper and deeper and deeper, and I ask them about, mostly it's a daddy issue most of the time, but not always. Sometimes it was just a catastrophe that was happening in the past. So always we dig deeper and deeper and deeper and find an event in the past why they believe that they're not worth to earn more. Yeah.
Let's dig into the topic, which really is about strategies. So when you think about a high profile client for the work that you do, what does that look like?
A high profile client is a client, first of all, who really has a need, has a gap, first of all, and you can help it with your product, with your service, whatever you're offering. And a high profile client for me is a client that your service or your product that you're living has a very high priority. So for me, a high profile client is a client who needs your service or your product. He can afford it, and it has a very high priority. It's very high in the priority ranking. That's for me a high profile client. So a client who is absolutely committed for change, or in whatever direction they want to go, to improve, to change, to transform, to transition, whatever it is. But it's for three things. They need your product and your services, they can afford it, and they're 100% committed. So it's a very high priority.
Thank you so much. So when I think about the clients that we have here, we have high profile. We have people who really are even nervous about being on a TV show because they don't want to be out in the public domain. Are they potentially good clients as well? People who they kind of are under the radar. So for example, I always find it interesting when we have guests and they don't send any information and we have to go looking for their background and they're not on LinkedIn. And I'll say to them eventually, you're a business owner. What is it about LinkedIn that, well, I'm trying to get to it. I'm not. So what about clients who are under the radar and don't like being in the public domain or don't like a lot of attention? Or can they potentially be good clients also?
Of course, the question is always why I don't believe they don't like it, but most of them, they don't have an idea how to present themselves, how to sell themselves, how to do it. And for example, to have a nice LinkedIn profile, nice descriptions and whatever. So people have to learn it because it's very important how you present yourself in public, like a LinkedIn or any other social media. Yeah, there can be, of course, a high client, because the point is, for me, it's the most important thing for me is the mindset. As I said in the beginning, is the person or the company, when it's an organization, absolutely committed to change, to get better, to improve? Are they committed? Yes or no? Because I always say to myself, so to my clients, I'm not an entertainer. I'm an entertainer, but I don't love to entertain you, or I don't like to entertain your people, your team members, or whatever, because it's wasted time, wasted money. My goal is that you get better, that you improve your performance, whatever kind of performance it is. Yeah, I really want to see improvement, and for improvement, you need commitment. So for me, it's all about the mindset. Of course, structure is also important, skill set is also important, but for me, the mindset is crucial. That's why I always have a call in the beginning with a client if we are a good fit, if I'm a good fit for the person or organization, or organization or person a good fit for me. That's the most important thing for me. Finding out if there's a commitment, because I'm 100% committed. When the client is 100% commitment, then we're going to reach the goal for sure. I 100% guarantee that, and that's important.
Yeah, I love how you framed that up. Thank you. We had a show yesterday, the Persistence Payoff Show, with Kimberly Schaefer and David Oates, and I was producing, but they were talking about persistence. And many times people give up right before they were about to accomplish something because they didn't continue in following their journey, I guess. So how does persistence impact creating possibilities?
Absolutely. I mean, consistency and persistence both are so important. As you said, Dr. Jacalyn, most people give up too early. And from my own experience, from my own companies that I started, and from my companies, from friends and clients, it's most of them, before they get a really breakthrough, most of them went down really into a deep valley, and then the breakthrough came. So, and most people give up when they go down. Most people. The reason for that is we have to understand something. When you build up a business, your income is not very stable. It's every month can be different. The point is that your expenses are linear, because every month you have to pay your rent, your mortgage, for the car, for the education of kids, the food, whatever. So you have quite linear expenses every month. It's more or less the same. And when the business goes up and you can afford it, it's cool. But when the business is going down because no clients at this month, or they don't pay you this month, meaning your income is lower than your monthly fixed expenses are, then you get in a crisis. And some people can stand it for a long time and then they give up. So again, from my experience, most successful businesses, and mine too, before the breakthrough came, it always went down. I don't know why it is. It always went down, and most people give up there. On the way down, they give up. They're scared, they're afraid, whatever. It's all about going through this value, going for the shit, and then there's a turnaround. I saw it many times.
So, Roland, would you say, let's say, and I'm going to refer to Shark Tank, and I know you've heard of it, and there's Dragon's Den and some other shows, but I've watched it where the entrepreneur is in front of the sharks and going through the numbers, and one of the sharks will say, "You don't have a business, you have a hobby." And they don't give them the money. They don't invest in their business. And then you find out later that the person actually made it into something because they kept persisting. They believed in it. It was something that they were so passionate about, they gave it all of their attention. But what I'm wondering is, when you think about possibilities, sometimes people have a business and they're going down a path and it's really not the right one for them, or it really is not doing well. How do you know when you should close the door, as opposed to you're giving up too soon and you're right there? Is that working with someone like you, or how do you figure that out?
Well, first of all, when there's a decision to make of shutting down the business or not, I always have a few questions. First question is, what's your product exactly? So is there a market for that product? Is there a market for the product? So is there other people or organizations out there who have a need for your product, for your services? Yes or no? That's one thing. And second question is, it's about the timing, because sometimes you can be too early with a new idea. It happened to me years ago. I lost 100,000. I lost 100,000 years of about almost 20 years ago. I had an amazing coaching ideas for medical doctors. It was too early. Now it's a business. So I lost a hell of money because the timing was wrong. I was too early on the market. Or some people are too late on the market. So the trend is over. So it's about, you have the right product, the right service. Is there a market for that? Yes or no? And the second thing, it's about timing. Yeah, that's what I look first. Is there a need for your product? Yes or no? Is there a market? And secondly, is the timing okay? Yes or no? That's the two main things I'm looking. And then we make a decision. If there's no market, change the product. If you're there is a market, but you're targeting the wrong target group, the wrong people, then you have two options: change the product for this target group, or stay with the product and change the target group. It could be I had a very good friend of mine, a Spanish one. He started his own company and didn't work. He had an idea for the Spanish speaking market. He's very good what he was doing with his experience. It didn't work. And I told him, Juanco, there are two options. The product is good, but it's not working in the Spanish-speaking market. So you have to decide. You change your product and you adapt it for the Spanish-speaking market, or you go out of the Spanish-speaking market, maybe to the English-speaking, German-speaking market. So there's two options. So it's not so easy to answer the question. We really have to analyze the business, the market, and everything. So it's not a simple question. But it's a very important one. And then you make a decision. Yeah.
Yeah. So would you suggest to entrepreneurs that they have some kind of budget set aside to hire a coach, to hire a mentor, so you can evaluate what's going on in the business? Most people, they'll have an accountant, they'll have an attorney, but they don't typically think that, oh, I need a business coach, or I need somebody who has experience in looking at what I'm doing and giving me some tips.
Well, I'm a coach. Of course, I'm selling my services. Yes, absolutely. And to be honest, when I started my business, I always had a mentor on my side. Always, from the beginning. I was 21 years old on my mentor. We're still friends at the time, 40 years now. He was 10 years older, very, very successful what he was doing. And I asked him, can he mentor me and have a look at myself, on my behaving, on my business and stuff like that. I always had somebody on my side, and it was very helpful because this person, especially this person in my early years, and all the other mentors and coaches I had, they are not emotionally distracted. They're very clear, they're very objective, because it's not their business. The challenge is, or the problem is, when you start a business, you're very emotional about it. It's your baby. You strongly believe in the product and the service you're offering, and then very, very often you're so in love with your own product and maybe with yourself that you don't realize, and you don't want to see, there is no market, or there is the wrong timing. And then so it's very, very good when you have somebody on this side, just from a helicopter perspective, and say, hey, Roland, cool product, but there's no market for that. Maybe you adapt this, or you're too early, you're too late. As I said at the beginning, with this a Spanish friend of mine, maybe you change the product or service, or you change the targeting group. So I say it's very, very helpful to have somebody from outside who can help you and support you. I would call it mentor you, or be a sparring partner for you. But look for somebody who knows exactly what he's talking about, who has really experience in different fields. I think this is so important, because I'm sorry for that, but I see so many coaches, especially on social media, like on Facebook, who sell high-priced tickets and have no fucking idea what they're talking about. They're just theories. They have a lot of blah, blah. They have nice quotes and stuff like that, but they cannot support you because they never experienced the same shit that you are going through. So hire somebody who is experiencing that. And a funny thing is, I have a very good friend of mine. He's a very, very successful business consultant in Germany, highly paid, a very good person. And he always told me, Roland, you're not a coach. You're a successful entrepreneur who shares his experience and his wisdom with other people. You're not a coach. There's so many coaches outside who have no background experiences over decades in different businesses. So that's why I called myself an entrepreneur and not a coach anymore, because it's different. I'm sorry, guys, but I guess it's so important that you work with somebody who really knows the market, who knows the product, and has his own experience in different fields. It's worthless. It's absolutely
so true. There's things that you can read about in a book or online, and then the actual real world experience makes a huge difference. And I know for myself, when I have certain TV shows here that I interview people and I charge money, and they'll say, well, why are you charging money? No one else is. And I said, because I've done over 5,000 interviews. So you want to be with me, then you're going to have to pay something. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, but
I can give you from last week. No, sorry, the week before Christmas. I had a break the week before Christmas. A one-to-one client, and they said, "Okay, what's your goal?" I asked him, "What's your goal in the beginning? What do you want? That's how I can roll." And they said, "No quotes, no blah blah blah. I can read a book. I see so many motivational coaches. It's cool to be in this bubble in a seminar room. Everybody's hyping." But then I get home and it's Monday and I still have to call my first client. So please help me every week, kicking my ass and support me, mentor, inspire me. So I get my shit done. In theory, I know everything. I have all the tools, but I need somebody on my side that I don't feel alone and I don't feel lonesome and scared when I'm working. That's one thing. And I also had a call with some managers of this company, Sage. Well, we are starting this coaching end of January. And I asked him what you want from outside this coaching, what you don't want. And then they all said, there were two guys and said, what we don't want is any blah, blah. We don't want to hear any blah, blah, any theory. There's so much blah, blah in the market. We want you to give us practical tips for our daily business that we can immediately work on. So that's so important.
I'm just laughing to myself because there have been times when I've interviewed people and I ask a question and I'm thinking, what are you saying? It's just a bunch of blah, 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 like going in circles. And people, they call themselves an expert, but yet when you ask a question, you can't get a direct answer. So it sounds like they're kind of stalling. And sometimes, as we mentioned in the beginning of the show, when we are on a certain journey, we can be stalled ourselves because we don't believe in ourselves. So I'm just going to summarize what I heard you say. First of all, you work with men and you work with women too, but you have a special program that you have for men, and you help people believe in themselves and know their worth. And then you can help them evaluate their business. Are they in the right market? Do they have the right product? Is somebody interested in those things? What are some other strategies that you have to get high profile clients? And then also, I think this could be another show. How do you keep the high profile clients? Because that's
the
a tough one too.
Yeah. Before that, I was smiling because when you use the term expert, there is I guess a German actor because we had so many experts on TV. They've been expert on the flu and the COVID. Now they're expert on the climate change, and then they're expert on the Ukraine war. Always the same people. And he said an expert is a person who knows more than 100 positions, but not a single girl. A joke on that side. But anyway, so what is also important, but what I do with my clients is when we find out, okay, is it the right product, the right market, the right timing, the right target group, stuff like that, is how to get in touch with clients. That's the most important thing. So how do we find our clients? Do we pay advertising on social medias, on LinkedIn, on Google? Stuff like that, or emailing, or using webinars, or call them, or whatever. So the next thing is the strategy and how we approach them. That's one thing. And what was your question exactly? Can you repeat your question?
Yes. So for strategies, you talked about a number of things already about how to get high profile clients. And we talked about what a high profile client looks like. How do you actually get to keep them?
I don't keep them. Okay, by building up a relationship, of course. By building up a relationship, building up a relationship, it means that I'm in a. Every month I'm in contact with my clients. I send them an email, or I'm a caller. I pick up the phone. Well, I don't know why it is, but most of my clients, most of the decision makers in big companies, they became friends of mine. So they invite me for dinner in their home, or we meet for dinner in a restaurant, or for lunch when I'm in town, or sometimes. So we always in a regular contact. I call them for birthdays. I call them for Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that. So I'm in regular contact. I love people, I love people. I love to meet people. I love to hear their stories. And I guess people love to be around me. And I build up a relationship. It's about building up a relationship, and building up a relationship is meaning paying into account. If you want to put something out of your account, first of all, you have to put into the account. So I'm building up a relationship, building up networks. That's what I'm doing, because I really love it. And that's the most important thing. It's not because I have to do it. I really love it. And I remember when my wife, my ex-wife, she said, yeah, because we always went out, well, on birthdays or something, we went out by ourselves. But mostly when we went out for dinner or lunch, we always had one of my clients with us. And she said, why is this? I said, hey, honey, we have an amazing lifestyle, but that's how I do business. Socializing, building up a relationship with my clients. That's so important for me. Still, after the contract, even when the project is over, everything is paid, I still keep going with them, because I know that they recommend me. I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but until 2020, I never had a single business card. I never had a single website. All came by recommendations. So all this big organization recommended me to another organization, or some of the managers left me with the company, went to another company and hired me again. So I never had any commercials, advertising. I never had a website. I never had a business card till 2020, when everything changed online. So, and this is because of my network. Building up relationship, that's so important to for your client retention. Building up a network, being loyal to them. What I also do is add extra value to my clients when I see an interesting article, or I read something in a newspaper, or get some rumor in the field. I always send them articles, informations, or also on the private side. For example, I've been living on this beautiful island for 14 years before I left into my motorhome. When people came to the island, I gave them, I told them about hotspots. I organized hotels for them, tickets for venues and stuff like that. So it's all about socializing and paying into this relationship account. It's work. And as I said, it's all about mindset. It's not about how to do it. It's really more about, do you want to do it? Yes or no? And I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that's so important, because it's almost like a bank account. Also, you're putting deposits in, and that's the client. And I think for someone like you, people know that you're going to bring value because you've continued to do it. And I think something that's also interesting when we think about creating a world of possibilities is that you left your home in Mallorca and decided to go out on the road because you really believe that you can work from anywhere, and you do work from anywhere. And not only that, at any point you could have said, you know what, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do something, I don't like doing this. You're constantly going different places on your own, and you are forced to meet new people. And that's not something that most people would feel comfortable with. But for you, that's a way of life. And I know that you coach people on a wireless life as well.
My comfort zone is always to expand my comfort zone. I feel comfortable when I can go out of my comfort zone. I feel uncomfortable when I stay in my so-called comfort zone. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Since my early years, I always love to expand my comfort zone, learn more about myself and other things, get experience. And sometimes, of course, I fail. Of course I do. Sometimes I made mistakes. Sometimes I hurt somebody or whatever. Yes, of course it can happen. Yeah, for sure. Not everything is golden, but that's the price you pay. And for me, it's more important to make a decision and fail and find another way how you can do it, instead of making no decisions. I love to go further and further and further and further and further. I think that's so important. Yeah. And it's part of the game, client can say no, you're going to lose clients. And actually what I said in the beginning about paying into this relationship account, I spend so much money on dinners and lunches, and many times nothing happened to me too. Yeah, that some people don't give back. That's okay. That's part of the game. So what I want to tell people is, don't expect anything. Give because you want to give from the bottom of your heart. And some people give back and some people don't. It's okay. That's part of the game. But those people who give back, you really build a tremendous bond between you and this person. And so it's all about giving. It's all about giving, and then you will receive. But it's also okay if you don't receive. So don't be disappointed. It happened. It's part of the game.
Absolutely. And just to dovetail off of what you said, sometimes we give and give and give. And if we have expectations that someone that we're giving to is going to give back, maybe they're not the one who's going to give back. Maybe it's somebody else down the road who's going to give back. So if we just give from our hearts and we don't expect anything, we will be rewarded at some point, but it might not be by that person. It could be someone we don't even know.
Absolutely. And I want to mention something, Dr. Jacalyn, that most people in the world are not aware about, and I learned it, and it made a tremendous difference to me, is most people don't know how to use the universe and the frequencies and the energy of the universe for their own success in business. So it's so important because everything is energy, you know. I don't know if you heard about it, that every single person on the world, when you just put away the energy, only the material stuff is smaller than a piece of sugar that you put in the coffee. So we see a material world, but everything is energy. So, and we know that 96 to 98% in the universe is just energy. Yeah, it's not material. It's energy. And we can use this energy. And what I learned is when we talk about quantum physics and when we talk about all these fields, morphological fields, we can use this energy. Meaning when we in a very positive frequency, for example, when you are angry, when you are sad, when you are jealous, your frequency is very low. And when you stay in this low frequency, you attract low frequency. When you stay in a high frequency, like being grateful, being joyful, yeah, being a good person, is being in a high frequency, then you attract high frequency. So what I learned is even when somebody, I don't know the word for it, I don't know, when somebody fucks you, you know, when somebody steals money from you, or somebody is not honest to you, illoyal, or whatever, doesn't pay you, or whatever. Normally, you go in a low frequency because you're pissed off. You're angry, you're disappointed. But the point is, when you stay in too long in this low frequency, you attract more low frequency events or persons. So even when somebody pisses me off, even when somebody steals money from me, as it did 2 years ago, when you remember somebody stole my Rolex before the show, or whatever happened, I immediately higher my frequency again and be grateful what I have, be thankful and be still joyful because I love the lifestyle I have, even when negative things happen. And staying in this high frequency hires or increases the chance that high frequency is coming back to me. And this is so important in business, whatever happens, because we always have to perform under pressure. You know, making business is not easier. It's more difficult. There's more competence, customer behavior is changing, and so many things. So there's a lot of pressure. And when you feel pressure and you're in a low frequency, hey guy, you will attract more low frequency events and people. So try to train yourself and learn to stay in a high frequency. I can tell you it's an absolutely game changer. When I understood this about frequencies and energies, it is a game changer for me, but my life changed totally. Absolutely.
I just want to confirm that you actually, right before a show, you actually had your Rolex stolen off of your arm and you still did the show, and you were not like a psycho like some people might be. You know, you were completely composed, and I really admired that. I thought, wow, this guy really has something, that he's able to lose something of significant value monetarily. I don't know if there was any sentimental value in it, but you know, you carried yourself like a gentleman.
Yeah, it was a value. It was almost $14,000. And it has also an emotional one because it was the first one I bought it was the first one I bought. Several Rolex, it was the first one. Yeah, it is. But again, if I am in this negative frequency, I attract more negative events. And that's why I absolutely go up. And that's actually, we had it in a former show last year when I was talking about the shortest spray in life. It's saying thank you. I say, I don't know how many times in my life, every single day, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And being grateful. Every morning when I wake up, I'm being grateful for so many different things, small things and larger things. Larger things like I'm still alive, I'm 60. I'm still healthy. Smaller things, hey, the sun is shining. Or I can have this whatever it is. I have a friendly neighbor on my side. And I also do it when I go to bed. Being thankful, being grateful. And this brings me in a high frequency, and this attracts more high frequency. Because to be honest, I have been in bad situations. I have also been in very low frequencies, feeling like a victim. And it was cool to be a victim because you get a lot of attention, but it's not helpful. And this was a learning for me too. So I always was pissed off when somebody fucks me and steals money from me or is illoyal or something, whatever. I was always pissed off. And I didn't understand in the beginning, the more I'm pissed off, the more negative things came into my life. And then I learned about these frequencies and I said, oh my gosh, yeah. And but it's not from your head. It's not about, I have to be positive. You have to feel it from your heart. You have to feel it from your heart and say, okay, I'm still thankful. I'm still grateful what I have. And then you attract more positive things.
What a great way to close out the show today, Roland. That is terrific. Thank you so much. You've brought so much value, and I appreciate you being my first guest on this show. And I look forward to having you come back. So if you would just share with people about the other shows that you are hosting here on our platform. You also have your own platform, and then we'll pull up your website.
Okay. So yeah, actually we had several shows on USA Global TV and Radio the last 3 years, and I'm very thankful. And it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be part of the USA Global TV and Radio family. Thanks for that you build up this platform, because I know it's an enormous work in the background. Most people don't see the work that has been done in the background to make it possible that myself and many other amazing colleagues can share their experience and wisdoms here for people to improve their lives in different areas. Thanks for that, Dr. Jacalyn. And yeah, so I did and I do different shows. We had these men's shows in the past while it's hard. I had these business shows, and we are still going on with my first show, and we're still on. It's the Mallorca Connection, where I interview interesting people, or you, Dr. Jacalyn, interview me on different topics. The Mallorca Connection, I think it's a cool show, but different topics, a very broad agenda. Then one of my favorite show is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, because Dr. Jacalyn, I'm very into health and fitness, because without health, nothing is fun. You can have the most money in the world, the biggest business in the world, or the largest house in the world. When you're not healthy, you're not fit, it's not fun at all. So It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. So we're going to continue next week with the Mallorca Connection and It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. And It's Your Healthy Lifestyle, it's not a finger-pointing show, what you shouldn't do. It's all about what you can do on very simple, very practical, very affordable on a daily basis. And what I do, I wouldn't say every single day, but almost every single day to stay fit and healthy. This is my two shows. And yeah, I do also my own broadcasting on YouTube, but it's just in German, to be honest. I uploaded a 207 videos, I think, about 80 videos about men's work, but it's in German. I also did a lot of women's work, but right now it's a transition. So I'm going to offer 2 amazing workshops this year. One in Austria with an amazing person. It's called Masculinity Meets Femininity, and Femininity Meets Masculinity. So it's for couples or for singles to come together and learn how they can communicate and act in between men and women, without saying, with less conflicts, with less misunderstandings. And I do another workshop running with another lady from Belgium. We do a workshop for how to become a lucky person as a single, so you can be a happy person when you get back in a relationship. So we do stuff like that. And yeah, and I also do a lot of shows, starting more and more shows about remote lifestyle with Wireless Life Rocks, encouraging people who want to be free and independent and maybe get out of the treadmill, to encourage them, go for it. That's what we're doing. Yeah,
right,
that's my
your website up here. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at.
Yeah, this is my so-called main website. As I said a few minutes ago, I never had a website until 2020. It was a funny thing. And then, with the pandemic, everything changed. Everything went online. And so I started with other websites, my business website, SBS. So when you go down there, you see SBS. This is Partner Performance Systems. That's my business website. Then there is Wireless Life Rocks, where I coach and support and mentor people who want to have the same lifestyle like myself. And then there is Sparing for Men, the men's side. This is the free. So when you click on this, you come to the website. So this was the beginning, this free website. And then we said, okay, but we need a master website, if you see a kind of holding or a roof above this. And this is Roland Friedl. So Roland Friedl is my main website. And from there, you can go deeper when you have a business context like Xerox, OpenText, Diebold Nixdorf, or even when you're a smaller startup, you go on SBS, you find more for your team and yourself or your leadership. When you're a single entrepreneur and you want to build up an independent successful business, then you go on Wireless Life Rocks. And this is my Facebook site, where I promote Wireless Life Rocks methods, meaning mentoring people who want to work and travel, combining work and travel, building up a successful 10 to 15K business and still enjoying life. Yeah, that's more or less.
There you go. That's actually LinkedIn. So people can go to LinkedIn, look for your name, and they can go to your website by also typing your name. So Roland, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. We'll look forward to seeing you next week with the shows, the Mallorca Connection, and It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.
Thank you. And thank you to our audience for always joining us. Thank you for recommending us. And don't forget, if you didn't have, sign up as YouTube and hit the bell, because there's so many other shows from amazing colleagues. Don't miss them. You can really learn a lot from them. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, Roland. And as Roland said, please do subscribe to our channels on YouTube with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck and USA Global TV and Radio. It means so much to me. It means so much to our team members. They love to see new people coming, and they also love to have the people who are still here watching the shows. So we're going to sign off right now, as we have another show coming right up. And we're going to run just a couple of promos that we'd love for you to watch and reach out and contact us. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, master the art of listening with Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session or drjacalyn.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations.